Hey there everybody, Robert Taylor with Wonderscape Creations. Going on to the next video for our Witcher Sense type ability. Um, we have a few minor things that we need to do within the materials to make sure that everything is turned off. So we're going to go ahead and do that now and do it correctly. And of course we will start off with the overview material. So we come over here. We have this turn on effect set here. So we need our material parameter collection. You'll want to make a scalar parameter, and I named mine turn on effect, and I have it defaulted at 0. Once you've done that, we need to get our material parameter collection. Change this to turn on effect. Do that. And I can remove that. And then right here as well. Where the emissive math is all done. And after that, when we hit apply, the color went away, as it should. Save there. Now we need to do it here in the post process as well. Oh, I don't have my notes open anymore. There we go. Now then for this one, we need another lerp. So hold down L and place it in there. We're going to need a post process, scene texture post process, and then a component mask, just RGB. Place that into the A, and then the B we place in here, and our turn on effect we place right there, and we place it in there. Now if we hit apply, we're back to normal. That was as simple as that. And now we need to do the fun stuff where we actually get everything working in Blueprint. So the first thing that we need to do is either create an actor component, which I have mine in, so we won't do it there, or do it within our player character, which is where I'm going to show you how to do it, because it's easier to do it there. Just know that if you decide to do it in an actor component, it's still going to work the same way. The only reason that I'm going to do it on the characters is because I'm just going to rapidly delete it after this episode so that we can move the code from the character into an ability and make it work. And we're going to do that live. And anyways, let's go ahead and do that fun stuff, shall we? Go ahead and save this. And I'm going to close that out. Oh, and close those out. Now we need to find our character. For me, mine's called base player character underscore AA. I'll go ahead and open that up here. So we're going to ignore this. That's going to be another series where I do the lock-on system. Because I know there's a lot of people that are interested in it. Bring this over here. Falling gameplay effect. Is that even being used? No, it's not. Cool. All right, copy and paste. Sorry. So all this is And I'll actually just do a follow along for this one. It's just going to save so much time. Is we have an event that runs a timer. That's it. This way, because you can't have timelines, so transitioning from sense on and sense off has to be done um, either on the actor with a timeline, or but if you're going to have it in a component, or you're going to have it in a gameplay ability, then you need to do some math to make everything possible and make everything work together. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to set everything up how it should be. So, the first thing we want to do is we're going to get this ready. That way, we don't have to worry about forgetting anything. You want to create an ability called activate, a custom event called activate sense. Once you've done that, drag out of it and get a branch. Then you're going to want to create a variable that is a timer handle called sense transition handle. Once you've done that, drag it out, get it, and then drag out of there and is timer active by handle. And plug that in. The next thing we want to do is we need to create a bool called is reversing. And the true will plug into a branch with is reversing on it. And if it's true, we want to set it to false. And if it's false, we want to set it to true. Now, the reason we want to do this is if we activate the ability again, and it's currently in the middle of transitioning, instead of it skipping all the way to the reverse and then going back, it'll start right where it's at and start reversing. So you don't see any hitches in the quote unquote animation. Now, once we've done that, we need to set timer by function name. Now, it's okay that we haven't made the function yet. We just need the name. And I've named mine update sense. Name it whatever you want. And then you're going to want to set the transition handle that we made after the timer. Now let's go ahead and create a scalar parameter, or sorry, we're not in materials anymore. Create a float called frequency amount and check looping as true. Now the frequency amount is set to 0.016. The reason for this is set at this number at 60 frames per second. So this will run at 60 FPS without any noticeable changes. Obviously, you can make it smaller if you really want to. This doesn't run forever. That's why we had the handle. But frequency amount is important because we also use it in our calculations of our function. Now, create a function. Make sure it's named exactly the same as the function name in the timer. And we're going to be doing a little bit of math, and that's fine. Now, before we do the math, you need to create some more floats. You need sense on value, sense off value, transition duration, elapsed time. We need those 4 additional floats. Now, elapsed time is set at 0. Transition duration, we have it set at 3, so it takes 3 seconds to go from sense on to sense off and vice versa. And then sense off value needs to be 0. Sense on value needs to be 1. Now that we've done that, pull out. You need to get a set for the elapsed time and connect it to the update sense pen. And pull out the elapsed time and search for select float. And you'll plug the is reversing into the pick A. And you'll now need elapsed time. I just realized I don't need 2 of those. you'll need to get elapsed time and frequency amount. And you'll get a minus and a plus. The plus goes into B, the minus goes into A, and you'll see that they are plugged in identically for elapsed time and frequency amount. Now, the next thing we need is set scalar parameter value. Now, it's important. Set scalar parameter value. You'll see here that we have two. I believe that they're the same. No, they're not. Set material. Interesting. Anyways, oh, it was set scalar parameter value. Texture one. So they look the same, but they're not. Make sure you get the correct one. It needs to have a collection. And you'll want to get your collection, material correct collection parameter that we made for the sense system, and turn it on effect. Now, once you've done that, pull out of the parameter value and look for finterp ease in out. And the sense off value you'll put as A. The sense on value you'll put as B. The exponent, I have it 2. You can change it to whatever you want. And pull out of the alpha, search for clamp float, the 0 and the 1 for min and max. And pull out of the value to get a divide. And we're going to divide the elapsed time and the transition duration. And this way it's keeping everything between 0 and 1, even though this is 3 seconds long. And it's going to make sure that it transitions correctly. Now, we want to make sure that we turn off the handle. So we need to make sure we set that we have it turned off at the correct time. So pull out of the clamp for a greater than or equal to. I think that's greater than. I'm so bad with those. Yes, greater than or equal to. And you'll want it to be a 1. And then you'll want to get the less than or equal to 0. So we have 2 of these here. You'll get another is reversing and get a select node. And plug it in exactly how I have it. And then you'll want to make a branch. If true, we want to clear and invalidate timer by handle, is reversing for a branch, and then set the, if is reversing is true, set it to false, and if it's false, set it to true. And that's it. Now, once you've done all that, you want to make sure that we actually activate the ability. So if you, no matter what you're doing, now you need to set up the key. I have I'm using the debug key, num minus sign, and I'm using the activate sense, which was the custom event that we made at the very beginning. That's it. So now if we hit play, and I push the button, there we go. Everything's working as it should. So that's everything for this episode. In the next one, we will go through and make the changes as needed to make it a gameplay ability for those who would like that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.